How did this small island nation build one of Asia's strongest economies despite its challenges? Taiwan, or officially the Republic of China, has a fascinating economic history. Despite facing unique constraints due to its complex relationship with mainland China, Taiwan has managed to develop into an advanced, prosperous economy known for its technology and innovation. But Taiwan's rapid industrialization and economic ascent in the post-war period required specific strategies and policies to overcome its limitations. From being an underdog, Taiwan has emerged as an economic powerhouse in Asia. So buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey through the enigmatic world of Taiwan's economy, a story that's as intriguing as it is inspiring. But before we continue, we would love for you to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any amazing and entertaining content. Taiwan's history. First, let's do a quick history recap. Taiwan is also known as the Republic of China. They split off from mainland China after the Communist Party took over in 1949. The previous government, the Kuomintang, fled to Taiwan and established a new government there. So essentially, Taiwan views itself as the continuation of the original Republic of China, while the mainland claims that they are the true China. This disagreement has created a tense relationship between the two sides for decades. In fact, most countries around the world don't even officially recognize Taiwan's sovereignty, due to pressure from the People's Republic of China. Beijing considers Taiwan to be a rogue province that should eventually be reunited with the mainland, whether Taiwan likes it or not. So, is it a country, island, province, or what? We must first understand why there is all this confusion in the first place. Ask a person on the street and they might confidently proclaim that Taiwan is indeed a country. Yet the world's hesitancy to acknowledge it as such has left many scratching their heads. To reveal the roots of this global enigma, we must journey back in time. The Republic of China, which now governs Taiwan, emerged in 1912, marking the end of imperial rule in China. Curiously, at the same time, Taiwan was still under Japanese control. Now, 1912 wasn't exactly a banner year for the birth of a new nation. Within 3 tumultuous decades, the fledgling country was plunged into chaos, igniting a brutal civil war. But before we could make sense of it all, Japan swooped in to invade mainland China. With the common enemy vanquished, the Republic of China and the Communist Party of China squared off in a ruthless civil war. 4 grueling years passed before the Republic of China found itself teetering on the brink of defeat. Their solution? A classic escape. They loaded up all the gold and currency reserves, hopped on ships and sailed off into the Pacific, setting anchor in Taiwan. A makeshift capital sprouted in Taipei, acting as a base of operations during these trying times. However, not much else happened. Apart from some stern finger-wagging over the South China Sea, the two Chinas went their separate ways. The People's Republic of China embarked on a journey towards becoming a workers' paradise. Meanwhile, the Republic of China, or Taiwan, struggled to establish itself as a nation. For a considerable stretch, Taiwan clung to the notion that they were merely a misplaced military center, waiting for an opportune moment to reclaim the mainland. It wasn't until 1988, nearly 30 years later, that a new president was elected, and the nation began to realize that the dream of reclaiming the motherland was fading. It was time to appreciate what they had. With this change came the end of martial law. Yes, the nation lived under wartime martial law for over 3 decades. Symbolic shifts occurred too. Taiwan's rhetoric shifted towards pride in its identity. Its government structure evolved from treating the island as a mere territory to recognizing it as a self-governing nation, and the nation's banknotes began to bear the mark of the Taiwanese Central Bank instead of the Provincial Bank of Taiwan. This unique political situation has definitely caused some big economic headaches for Taiwan over the years. Just imagine not being recognized as a real nation by most of the world. This makes attracting foreign investment very difficult, since companies can face backlash from China. It also prevents Taiwan from joining major trade partnerships or organizations like the United Nations. Despite all of these challenges stemming from their contested political status, Taiwan has still managed to build one of Asia's most advanced and prosperous economies. So how did they manage to pull this off? Let's take a closer look at Taiwan's impressive economic ascent. Taiwan's economic takeoff. Taiwan's astonishing economic journey begins in the 1960s and 1970s, an era marked by post-war recovery and a strategic decision by the Taiwanese government. Back then, the global landscape was vastly different, with China still largely closed off from the world. Taiwan seized the opportunity to become a global manufacturing powerhouse by focusing on export-oriented industries. In the early 1950s and 1960s, Taiwan found itself on the receiving end of U.S. aid, a far cry from where it stands today. Over 2 million Kuomintang supporters had sought refuge on the island after losing mainland China in the Chinese Civil War. This sudden population influx had profound effects on Taiwan's economy. To address this challenge, the government introduced a series of economic strategies. The first of these was land reform, a pivotal step towards modernization. It created a class of landowners who had the capital to invest in future economic ventures. U.S. aid played a pivotal role in stabilizing post-war Taiwan, contributing over 30% of domestic investments between 1951 and 1962. Government planning and universal education further accelerated progress in industry, agriculture, and living standards. Taiwan transitioned from an agriculture-centric economy, comprising 32% of GDP in 1952, to a robust industry-focused economy, representing 47% of GDP by 1986. This rapid transformation, however, isn't complete without considering the global stage. Even as aid from the U.S. dwindled in the 1970s, its impact during the early years cannot be overstated. It kick-started industrialization, fostering both economic and security ties between Taiwan and the United States. The uncertain nature of the U.S. commitment prompted Taiwan's shift from import substitution to export-driven growth in the 1950s. The growth in foreign trade and exports played a vital role in absorbing the labor force displaced by the diminishing importance of agriculture. Taiwan's economic landscape underwent a remarkable evolution. It transitioned from the labor-intensive products like textiles and toys to heavy industry and infrastructure in the 1970s, and then to cutting-edge electronics in the following decade. By the 1980s, the economy was opening up, with the government initiating the privatization of state-owned enterprises. Investment in mainland China boosted cross-strait trade, reducing Taiwan's reliance on the U.S. market. From 1981 to 1995, the economy surged at an annual rate of 7.52%, with the service sector emerging as the dominant contributor to growth, representing 51.67% of the economy. Taiwan's international trade received a significant boost through the Taiwan External Trade Development Council. Remarkably, due to astute financial policies by the Central Bank of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the country's entrepreneurial strengths, Taiwan remained relatively unscathed during the financial crisis of 1997 through 1999, contrasting with the turmoil experienced by other regional economies. Transition to an advanced economy. Since then, Taiwan has continued moving up the value chain into cutting-edge tech like integrated circuits, telecom equipment, and computer chips. Brands like Asus, Acer, and HTC are now among the global leaders in their fields. At the same time, Taiwan has transitioned politically from an authoritarian system to a vibrant democracy with competitive elections. Regulations have been relaxed to attract more foreign investment and finance. This openness has facilitated Taiwan's economic progress. Today, Taiwan is renowned as one of the most technologically advanced and innovative economies in the world. In fact, Bloomberg ranked Taiwan as the world's most innovative country recently. As of 2021, the most financially rewarding sectors in Taiwan are telecommunication services, financial services, and information services. Taiwan's economic prowess is further underscored by its top ranking in the 2015 Global Entrepreneurship Index for Asia. Over the past 3 decades, the country has maintained an impressive average GDP growth rate of approximately 8%. The growth has been accompanied by a surge in exports, coupled with low inflation and unemployment, underpinned by the world's 4th largest foreign reserves. Nonetheless, Taiwan, like other developed economies, is not without its challenges. The continued migration of labor-intensive industries to countries with lower labor costs, such as mainland China, the Philippines, and Vietnam, poses a significant concern for Taiwan's economic trajectory. To sustain its prosperity, Taiwan must pivot further towards becoming a high-tech and service-driven economy. Recent years have seen Taiwan successfully diversify its trade markets, significantly reducing its export reliance on the United States, which dropped from 49% in 1984 to 20% in 2002. This trend is expected to continue as exports to Southeast Asia and mainland China increase and efforts to tap into European markets yield fruit. Taiwan's accession to the World Trade Organization, or WTO, and its ambition to serve as an Asia-Pacific regional operations center are catalysts for further economic liberalization. But how did Taiwan manage to get here despite its geopolitical constraints? What underlying strengths have enabled its impressive economic success? Let's explore the key factors. First, human capital. First and foremost, Taiwan's greatest resource is its people. Education is highly valued in Taiwanese culture, and they have an extremely skilled, knowledgeable, and capable workforce. In fact, over 95% of adults in Taiwan have completed upper secondary education. Most go on to higher education as well. This emphasis on education provided Taiwan with the talented engineers, researchers, and entrepreneurs needed to thrive in advanced tech industries like semiconductors, electronics, and computers. Top talent has been the lifeblood of leading firms like TSMC, MediaTek, and Delta Electronics. Beyond just formal education, Taiwan's workforce is also praised for its diligence, discipline, and work ethic. This industrial culture has enabled Taiwan to achieve precision and quality in complex manufacturing processes. Human capital is the foundation of Taiwan's prosperity. Manufacturing expertise. In addition to human talent, Taiwan also built up immense manufacturing expertise and capacity during its post-war industrialization. This allowed Taiwan to become the dominant global hub for computer software, semiconductors, and other electronics. Firms like Foxconn, Quanta Computer, and Pegatron have made Taiwan the premier location for technology manufacturing, assembly, and contract manufacturing services. The cluster of suppliers and specialized skills that Taiwan nurtured over the decades has given it a strong competitive advantage. Today, 1/3 of global electronic supply chains flow through Taiwan. The expertise they've developed in high-precision manufacturing would be extremely difficult for any other country to replicate quickly. Strong institutions. While not without flaws, Taiwan has developed capable institutions and regulations needed to thrive in advanced tech industries. Intellectual property rights are well protected. Capital markets efficiently allocate investment funds. Banking systems fuel enterprise. Taiwan has also invested heavily in R&D and provides incentives for private firms to innovate. Taiwan spends around 3 to 4% of its GDP on research and development, among the highest rates globally. This nourishes new ideas. Effective institutions have provided stable foundations for Taiwan's private sector to grow and access the global economy. Ongoing governance reforms are also improving Taiwan's institutional environment. Close ties with China. And finally, Taiwan's close business ties with mainland China have also boosted its economy. Hundreds of thousands of Taiwanese businesses operate in China, both manufacturing for export and selling to Chinese consumers. Trade across the Taiwan Strait has flourished, with China becoming Taiwan's largest trading partner. While political relations remain complex, economic interdependence binds the two sides together. Access to China's labor, markets, and economies of scale has benefited numerous Taiwanese industries. Challenges ahead. Of course, Taiwan still faces some difficult demographic and external challenges looking ahead. As Taiwan's population ages rapidly, growth is slowing and the labor force has begun shrinking. This could constrain Taiwan's future economic potential. They also face risks from being highly dependent on exports and trade. Any disruptions due to global disputes or frictions between the U.S. and China could ripple through Taiwan's economy. Diversification may be needed. Balancing growing economic ties with the mainland versus maintaining Taiwan's political autonomy and distinct identity will require deft diplomacy and strategic vision. This balancing act is an ongoing challenge. Rising labor costs have also impacted Taiwan's cost competitiveness vis-à-vis other Asian manufacturing hubs like Vietnam. Staying on the cutting edge of innovation will be key. So, while storm clouds are visible on the horizon, Taiwan has a track record of adapting swiftly to change. Their dynamic private sector, sources of economic strength, and culture of innovation should continue to serve them well. But to avoid stagnation, staying nimble and thinking long-term will be critical. As we wrap up, Taiwan's impressive rise over the past half-century shows how much a country can achieve even when the geopolitical odds seem stacked against them. Through smart policy, leveraging their capabilities and determination, Taiwan transformed itself from an agrarian backwater into a global technology leader. Can Taiwan navigate the tensions and slower growth ahead while still continuing to prosper? Only time will tell. But Taiwan has always managed to surprise doubters and overcome their unique constraints before. Their skilled workforce, manufacturing ecosystems, business ties across the strait, and underlying national resilience put them in good position for the future. But to thrive in the 21st century, staying dynamic and playing to their strengths will be key. As we wrap up our journey through Taiwan's economic evolution, think about it. How does a small island defy the odds and become an Asian economic giant? We'd love to hear your reflections and insights in the comments. What lessons can we draw from Taiwan's experience? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.